the Authorpreneur Book Marketing Summit. I'm Natalie McQueen, and my partner Becky Norwood and I are so glad that you joined us today. This is an event you don't want to miss. We have 33 amazing experts that will empower you with their marketing tools and techniques to really become that impactful influence that will bring your story, your wisdom, and your impact to the world. These fabulous speakers have incredible knowledge to share with you. They have some secrets and amazing gifts to give away. Our sponsor for the event is Spotlight Publishing, and if you haven't heard, they are giving away a $10,000 publishing package to one of our VIP members. So if you have not upgraded to VIP yet, it's not too late. Go ahead, upgrade to VIP, and you will get all the recordings of these amazing speakers. You will get all their free gifts, as well as being entered in that drawing to win that publishing package. If you have a book idea and you want to explore that a little more, go to spotlightpublishing.pro and make a free consultation with Becky and I, and let's see where it goes. I'm very excited to be introducing this next speaker. She is incredible. We have worked with her for the last couple years, and I'm going to let Becky introduce her.
Thank you, Natalie, and welcome, Marilyn. And another truck just drove up. My daughter is living with us, and she purchases things off of Amazon all the time. Don't know. There he goes. He just threw it down. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for being with us, Marilyn. MARILYN SUTHERLAND has spent her life transforming the relationships of thousands of individuals through coaching and consulting. We'll have to edit that out. I'm so sorry.
What you can do here is just wait about 2 seconds, and then just, I've already noted it, and just say, just kind of like Natalie just passed it off to you, and just start from there. Okay? All right, go ahead.
MARILYN SUTHERLAND has spent her life transforming the relationships of thousands of individuals through coaching and consulting. She draws on her degrees in psychology and sociology, organizational development, and 20 plus years of business consulting experience, as well as years of transformational business and personal coaching. She has a #1 bestseller book. That's just amazing. Why did you load the dishwasher like that? 9 whopping mistakes that push love away. Can't wait to hear about your story, what your book is all about. That's a good sounding book. And thank you, Marilyn, so much for being with us today. We're just waiting for this time to have with you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so fun to be with you too. And I have 3 Amazon best-selling books.
Nice.
The ones that we work together on.
Well, that's true. That's true. And
yes.
You've got another one coming up. Well, the one in the Game Changer, right?
No, I've done 2 of them, and so I'm taking a break. But, but they were awesome because I wrote about my story of how I got married at 49 for the first time, and then how I stayed married.
Oh, that journey, huh?
Yeah, it was quite a journey from being single for so long and all the adjustments you make. And so, yeah, so that was really so spectacular to have that opportunity to work with you guys. And I learned a lot about the business of getting your book to be a bestseller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how has that book served you? Your books, not just that book. How have those books served you to help you to grow your business? And even on a personal level, how has it served you?
Well, wow, that is a meaty question. So I've been doing my own work for about 3 years, and no one else is, just building my own set of distinctions. And writing that book, Why Did You Load the Dishwasher Like That? allowed me to codify what I do in a way that I hadn't been able to do it when I'm just working with people one-on-one or in my courses. I mean, I have a course map, you know, this is what we're doing, but I have over 30 healthy habits and 9 plus an extra whopping mistake. And what was interesting, when I published the book on pre-order, so I hadn't written it yet. All I had was the cover and the title and the picture. And I was trying to figure out where
And that puts the pressure on you, doesn't it?
Right.
Oh my God, I didn't know. I don't know why I can't find the cover. I have like oh, here it is right here. This is what it looks like. Of course, it's a Kindle right now, and it's not this gigantic. But when I published it, I didn't know what 9 whopping mistakes I was going to focus on. So it really had me try on different things that I thought were important and try to figure out what are the best ones to put in the book that will have the most impact and where people will see themselves. So it was like clarifying, what do I do in some kind of a system? You know, a lot of people have the 10 steps in order, but I don't have that.
Right.
Because I don't know where people are. If someone's just starting to date someone or has been married for a year or 2 or been married for 30 years, in some ways, their issues are very different. Of course, in a lot of ways, it's all about them and how they show up.
Right.
But anyway, so it really helped me to clarify, and it feels like my book is my marketing and my coaching playbook.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it becomes that because, you know, I think that what in our observations of my own personal experience in writing a book, several books, to working with our authors, the more you write, the more you get the clarity, because you have to dig pretty deep to put those words down in the right kind of way, in a way that sometimes when we speak, we can't always speak like we should write, or we can't always write like we speak, because people catch the nuances of the conversations we have, but when it starts to put pen to paper, it changes. And we really have to get clear on being very concise with our words and really get the message out, because they don't know the personality behind it.
Right.
You know?
Yes. And one of the things that I found so true about that was one of the things I say in the book, I have 4 categories of healthy habits after I introduce the whopping mistakes. And one of the categories is your words matter. And that nuance, a word, one word can have a subtle difference. You know, there can be ruminating or worrying or stress or something else. And they all say different things. And also people hear it differently. So you want to pick the word that's going to be best to express what you're thinking. And so like right now, my mind is going like, what do I use? And often when we're on the spot talking, well, we say what we say. It's probably okay. But when you're writing, you really want to finesse what is the real message.
Well, they can't hear the tone. They can't hear the extra things. So you have to convey it in words so that is portrayed in the right way. So how did you come up with?
One more thing. And our nonverbal is really important too. It's not just the words. I mean, we don't always talk about that, but of course our nonverbal is maybe more important than the words.
Very much, very much.
Sorry.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the title for this particular book for yourself?
Oh, well, so someone suggested to me that I maybe do a vintage wife, you know, like a 50s wife. So we looked for pictures, and then we found one with the dishwasher, and it was like, oh, this one's good. We like that. And then it was like, what do we do about a dishwasher? And of course, I think you know, I'm not sure exactly who came up with it, but when we said it, why did you load the dishwasher like that?
Yeah.
It's like,
Perfect though.
it's perfect. And almost everybody laughs when they hear it.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's easy.
What was that?
It's easy to laugh when you hear it because it brings to mind the conversation the other day and the rolling of the eyes, you know.
Yeah, and I would get things like, oh, I say that, or yeah, my husband or wife says that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or were you in my kitchen last night? Oh my God. And that's, you know, so once I knew that that was the perfect question.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So who are your perfect clients? Like, who do you work with?
Well, this is one of the struggles, which I think, you know, some of the other speakers, you know, I think my ideal client is professional women, maybe 45 or 50 and up. I say in a committed relationship, but I often have women who are single or newly in relationships and they want a committed relationship. Right. And they know they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
well, it's funny that you brought up, you know, you were alone for so long and then getting married sounds like it rocked your world. I have a friend that is in the similar situation. She got divorced and it's been 4 or 5 years and now she's just moved in together and she's just like, what is going on? Like it, you know, so this book, I can't wait to tell her about it.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because it's also, the thing about our relationship and communication skills is that when you think about it, here you are and you show up at work, you show up with your parents, your kids, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, you're the same person. And of course we do different things at home. Like if you're talking to your spouse, you might hug them or touch them. You might not do that with your colleagues or your boss. Hopefully not. Commitment to connect ideally is the same so that people know you listen, you care about them. And so intentional connection is a healthy habit that you can do everywhere in your life with the people that are important to you. So funny, I have a lot of people who are business colleagues. I did, you know, business coaching and consulting for really more like 30 some years. So I have a lot of colleagues who bought the book, you know, to support me. And so while the stories might be different, the habit is the same. And mostly what we do is especially now, we have our phones in our hand, we're looking at our phones, someone comes and talks to you and you're like, wait a minute, or you're saying, yes, go on, and you're working on your phone. And there's no real connection.
Right. That happens so much everywhere around us.
Yes. I mean, just go to restaurants. It used to be, it was unusual, but funny kind of, and sad when you went to a restaurant and you saw a family and everybody was holding their phone.
And now it's common.
Yes. And to me, it's sad because we have so few moments with busy lives when we really can connect so that people feel safe with you and you feel safe with them. So your family and your friends and even your work colleagues, if you're out to lunch with them, that you feel connected to them, which is fulfilling for us.
Very fulfilling.
Because when you're wrapped up in your business or whoever you never think, oh, I'm just going to be rude. This person I'm with doesn't matter. But when you have it done to you and you're like, wow, I'm here. I took my time to have lunch with you. And that person on the other side is more important.
I'm going to be on my phone.
It's worse than that though, Natalie. You know, really, it's like, hey, I'm hurt. Why did you go with me if you're not even going to talk to me? Like we're hurt because we made the time and they didn't, and it makes us feel they don't value us.
Right.
That happens a lot with families and also a lot at work.
Oh, for sure.
Very much. So Did writing your book help you to get really clear on who your target market is and who you want to serve?
Well, it did. You saw that hesitation because in the end, I talk about these other, women, married singles, people at work. But yes, when I picked that picture and put it on the cover, it was like I'm saying women who are married. And, it's kind of stereotypical, but a 50s wife, she was in the kitchen. But just to, and a great question. That's so funny. I've been looking at a business book version of the question, and what I've come up with up till now is a guy who's explaining something to a woman, and he's like, let me explain this to you so that you, in simple terms, so you understand it. But of course, that makes the man look like a jerk. And that's not fair either, because we say that, women say that too. Like, honey, let me show you how to do this. Or,
Right.
Don't you remember when we did this before?
You did it that way?
Yeah, that way. We're all guilty of that. I mean, unless we're Zen-like, and there's a few people like that, but most
Right,
And often, is it not, it comes down to miscommunication. Because I know with even my husband and I, we've been happily married for 27 years, and often we're completing each other's sentences. But then there's some things, we both have the end goal, but how to get from here to here, we're both on a different path. And we're like, what are you even thinking? It's like the dishwasher. Why wouldn't you do it this way? It makes total sense. And he's thinking the same thing, even though we want the end result.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. So in my first version of the book that's out right now, I have my extra whopping mistake is ignoring gender differences. And then I started thinking about it. And the truth is, we are all different from everyone. I mean, like there's Becky and you and I, we all have curly hair. We could talk about curly hair stuff, but if we're talking about something that's unique between us, I won't know what you're saying and you won't know but we're trying to connect, and we might finish each other's sentences or talk over each other or whatever, and then we're like, she interrupts me, or, oh, she didn't listen to me, and then there's this whole nother layer I talk about in the book. We're all wounded to some extent. We don't want to admit it, but we're sensitive about things.
Sure.
Some people, they were told they were stupid. I mean, my dad didn't say that, but I have two master's degrees. So, I mean, and I love learning, but I didn't have to I was going to get a PhD and I gave up on that, but because I thought a master's is good enough, but I love to learn.
It almost adds up.
Yeah, like 2 masters makes a PhD, but I never felt I was in advanced classes, advanced math, and I hadn't done the prep work, and I never felt smart enough. And that little conversation from 7th or 9th grade, maybe, it's in the background. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of incidents that we make decisions about that we're not enough. And so you bring, we're not just showing up like this, we're bringing that and all of the other stuff. Some of it's painful, some of it's not as painful. And that's how we're interacting. So we don't just have a few points. We have like literally thousands of ways we're different. No one else has had yours or my experiences that make us unique. No one's like us in the whole world. Nobody.
And thankfully.
Well, the good news is when you write your book, no one else is going to write that book, no matter what the title is, exactly like you.
Right. And I always say there's nothing new under the sun, but it's the way you take the same thoughts, the same concepts somebody else has written on, but it adds your beautiful flavor to it, and it changes it. It changes it, but it still connects the dots for the hearts and the minds and those that are searching for an answer or a better way.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the experience of the readers. You know, it's like that game Telephone. We're all going to read your book, but we're all going to take a section that hits us in a certain way and take that value and implement it.
Yes.
It may not be the same as someone else.
So Marilyn, I know that, you know, we've been in the same circles of learning. You know, we're learning how to create courses. We're learning how to get our books done. We're learning all these, I mean, just monumental things, how to do a telesummit, you know,
Yes.
all of these things. How did you find the time to even write a book? I know you're serving your clients with excellence.
Yes.
So how do you carve out that time?
Well, yeah, I love when people say, I don't have time to write a book. It was like, are you kidding me? I mean, no one has time to write a book, have a business, you know, even if you have a family, you don't have time to write a book. I launched my book in pre-order and I had 3 months. And if I didn't get it uploaded by a certain date, Amazon wouldn't release it. And what they do is they prevent you from publishing for a year.
I know, that's not very fun, is it? But that sure motivates.
So you have a book that's almost done, not quite, and you don't make the deadline, and now you sit on it for a year? Oh my God. Yeah. So I didn't realize that in the first 2 weeks I was finishing my course and doing a live event. And then I started thinking about, what are my whopping mistakes? I had one. The first one was, why don't you load the dishwasher like that? And I called that the smart one. Not really smart, more like smart ass. But like, I think I know and you don't. I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I had that one, but I had 8 more to go. And then I found out you have to have the book uploaded by this date. And I had a 9-day retreat in the middle with very little free time. So the almost 2 months that I had, my butt was in a chair and I was writing.
Wow. And you have to schedule time to write. You have to put it in the calendar. Even if it's half an hour a day, you've got to get it done.
And that was hard for me because I'm one of these people, once I get going, I have all these different ideas and I can like hold them for a while, but I have to tie them all up. If I walk away and I come back, I'm like, I don't know what this is about. I don't know where I was. So yeah, so that was mostly, I mean, I can't say, you know, that was everything that I did, but that was mostly what I did. And I postponed my classes because I did want to serve my clients with excellence and I didn't want to be distracted by having to write the book. And my editor was stellar, and her father died a few days before she was due to give me the book.
Oh my goodness.
And the last section, and the whole read. And so we were right up against the deadline. So thank God that I had blocked that time out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had the book if I hadn't had that deadline.
Right.
I definitely wouldn't be on this talking about the book. I don't think I would have gotten it done.
Deadlines do serve their purpose, don't they? So how did writing your book help you clarify your mission, your vision, your passion? How did it bring it together for you?
You know, when I was writing the book, I had in mind, I mean, I want more love in the world. I want people to act from love, think from love, live from love, you know, with their kids, and to be kinder, and their partner, and with their friends, you know, all the things that we're talking about. We take our people for granted. And then at work, like, this is your family at work, and how can you make it more nurturing and supportive? And how do you build a collaborative team? Like, all of that. So that's my commitment. And because I was in business for so long, and also because I was single so long and went through my relationship love journey, I'm really committed to people, whatever they're dealing with, to have more power, more freedom, more joy.
Right.
More love.
Let love in. And, you know, I say this sometimes in business, people, I know they might go like, what? But we're closed off. Most of us, we have pretense, like, I've got it together, everything's fine. And sometimes things aren't working for us. I thankfully, I'm not in pain right now, but I have 2 slipped discs, and some days you could hear me screaming.
Right.
And, you know, and I'm cranky and grumpy, but I don't want to live from that. I want to live from joy and appreciation. And if you've ever had friends die unexpectedly, then it's like a little mini wake-up call, like, oh my God, I shouldn't take people for granted.
Right.
So you know, that's all of this is in the background. And so my concern that people learn how to be kind and loving to themselves and others is really what my intention was.
Yeah.
For women who are married, I mean, single women think, though, that's great if I could just find a guy. But it's a start over. All the skills that I knew as a single woman were completely irrelevant when I got married.
Well, that's so true. I spent 20 years as a single mom. And going into marriage and having a life to share with someone else it's completely, everything changes, you know. And I find myself, I have to laugh sometimes because I was so used to making the decisions and not having to confer with anybody. I just made my decisions. And especially, it still happens from time to time, where somebody will say, hey, how about coming over for dinner? Sure, let's go. And then my husband's looking at me, you didn't even ask me, you know. You know, so it's those kind of things. And what an education it is, because, you know, if you're in a place where you have been on your own for a long period of time, it's quite an education to start to share and to really, and even have the security that you're going to do it the right way and not mess it up, you know. And so it's a real journey.
It is. You know, a couple things about that. I mean, that was my experience. I was a relationship fixer in business. I worked for, you know, IBM and then Accenture. But at IBM, I was brought in all the time to fix problems between the IBM technical project manager and the client. And, but I didn't know how to be a partner, like at work, not at home. And one of the things that's really, really important is you have to be kind to yourself when you're making that change. We have habits that you practice being single for 20 years and you got really good at it.
Yep.
I practiced until I was 49. And then you know, and we don't want to be a beginner. We want to be like, oh yeah, I know this.
I could do this.
I could do this, right. And so we have, you know, a lot of the work I do is about people recognizing the habits they do that don't work, like not considering what your partner needs as much as you. Because if you're really a partnership, it's both of you. It's a we, not a me and you or me.
Right. That's something to learn too when you've been on your own for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to be kind to ourselves, and changing habits takes time.
Right.
And those are habits. They're beliefs that we have that we practice thinking all the time. And you have to catch yourself going there and then saying, wait a minute. And then
got to do something different here.
Yeah. What do you think, honey?
Right.
I got to ask that question. So how are you using your book to grow your business?
Well, your book might not make you $1 million. And I was, you know, watching Cody, who was on right before me, and he talks about $1 million. Oh, I hope so. But it's a calling card. Despite the fact there's so many people writing books, there are way more people who want to write a book or who don't even think about doing it because they don't think they can, and they do have something in their heart they want to say. So it's a credibility booster. And so it opens the door for being on podcasts and summits and getting speaking opportunities. And then also, I'm proud of the fact that I did that. And it's as good as it is, you know. Is it like, I mean, I didn't spend, I have a friend who spent like over 10 years writing his book. You know, his, I don't know, his is good. It's good. There's some things that I'm going to probably edit and put it out in the next version, but I'm proud of what I did. And that gives me a confidence that I didn't have before. I knew I was good.
No.
And I'm working with people one-on-one, but this is in a different arena. Like, this is a body of work that I can be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
If there are some typos in it, because
you know, I can honestly say that no matter how many people go through your book and the editing process, no matter how many times you've read it aloud, you publish it and you're going to find some errors. Always, no matter how hard you try not to.
yeah, right.
But the beauty of it is you can re-upload a new version. So
Exactly.
so be it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to catch all those before I do my print version.
Well, we try, but I guarantee you'll find something. Yeah.
Well, and what we try to tell our authors is, if you don't have a solid marketing plan when you have your book and you don't put those into place, yeah, you may hit bestseller for a day or two, but then you're lost in the cobwebs of cyberspace. And, you know, there's 4,000 books being published every day on Amazon. How are you going to compete? But when you put those, you know, and some of the things are little, but if you brand yourself as an author and you get out in front of people and speak your message and show up consistently, and then put those marketing techniques in place, that book can be a viable source of income.
Well,
and that's what we're really driving for our authors to see. That it's great to say it's a tool, but it's a tool that can make you a lot of money if you do it right.
Yes.
well,
yeah,
you can.
Yeah, and I look forward to all of this summit is fantastic because it's bringing together people with all different facets of the business. I mean, I'm sort of maybe the exception because I'm one of your clients, and you know, but the reality is, I mean, my book's been out less than 2 months, and I'm not a millionaire yet, but you know, having the marketing plan, getting myself booked and getting myself out there and going beyond my own circle of clients and friends and whatever.
Your book is a tool. It's a tool, you know. And the thing is also within the pages of your book, you can talk about your courses, and you know, it's just an extra marketing revenue stream that maybe they read the book and you don't know who they are, but they're checking out your website and checking on your course. They're hearing that you're speaking somewhere, you know, all these little things. So it's those pieces that add the credibility, showcase your expertise, the pieces that make the difference as to whether somebody's going to listen or say, oh no, another one of them books on relationships, you know? And so it all goes hand in hand, because one of the things that we want to do the most out of all fulfilling the purpose of life is we want to be an impactful influence in our world. What an amazing time we're living in, that we have all of these tools at our disposal. And most of the time, fairly simple to implement if we, you know, I mean, there's always complications, but compared to even 10 years ago, my goodness, we have so much at our fingertips that was not available before.
We do, and we have a reach literally international.
Yes.
You know, we're doing YouTube videos, and I'm getting ready to launch that, and you know, there's going to be an audience that's international.
Well, and with your YouTube videos, that I'm sure is going into your TV show, which every one of our interviews for this is going into our TV show. So, you know, I mean, it's a repurposing of content. But it's expanding the reach in incredible ways, and it's benefiting everyone involved, so the reach is just important. So in an interest of time, we have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you, and so grateful to you that you would take the time to join us. So for our listeners that are actually listening to this summit, what is your free gift for them?
So I have an ebook about the whopping mistakes and the healthy habits that I'm going to be giving to, that's for everyone. And then the VIP gift.
Yep.
So the VIP gift, are you guys going to post that? Do I need to say it?
No, but we will post everything.
Okay, you don't have to say anything.
I'm like trying to figure out where is the info on the.
No.
Just say what it is, and then we'll.
Yeah, so I'm going to do, for the VIP gift, I'm doing a, well, actually, I take that back. That's the book, the ebook is my gift. Because normally I just have a one sheet document. So I'm doing a whole ebook on that. And so you don't have to read the book. I hope you buy it, but you don't have to. You can look and see what is it that I'm doing that's pushing love away or pushing connection away. And and then my offer, sorry, I'm like, my offer is a workshop that I'm going to be doing. I've never done one like this, where I'm going to delve deep for 2 hours and talk about some of the key ways to have people connect with the people who matter to them. And I'll also be doing Q&A. So if you have questions or challenging relationships, you can get on and ask your questions and we'll handle them.
Sounds great.
That's perfect.
So I have one question that we have to ask before. I've been dying to ask you this. So your husband, we know we will. How did he feel about this book? And did you get his feedback for any part of it?
Yes, I did. And he read the whole thing, and he was one of the first people to review it. And he gave me some comments. But what was really funny, not about this book, but about the Game Changer book. And I'm trying to think what I said to him. I wrote in the book that when we first got married, it was Game Changer 3. I said, when we first got married, Chuck had way more skills. He'd been married and divorced twice. I'd never been married at 49. So he knew way more about what it took to make a relationship work. And in his case, it was to apologize sincerely. And he did, because he knew whatever the agreement or rough part of it wasn't important enough. And so he would usually apologize first. So I wrote in the book, that Chuck, he had way more skills in relationship than I did when it came to love. And when he read that, he burst out laughing. I've been divorced twice. Exactly.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
So he was very supportive.
Couple.
Say that again.
Did you make a cute couple?
Thank you.
Yeah, very sweet.
I just feel so blessed. I didn't want to get married unless it was somebody who was right for me. And I really didn't think I would ever find anyone. I actually mourned my plan when I married Chuck. I was going to move to Italy because when I was there, all the men were hitting on me. I knew I'd have dates and fun, and I could travel all over Europe. And I was like, that'll be a great life. Maybe I won't get married, but I'll have a lot of loving in Italy.
And a lot of good wine.
And a lot of good wine, yeah. And then I got married, so I didn't get to do that. But
well, now take him and go have an affair in Italy. Not an affair, but together. A love affair.
A love affair, yes.
Well, Marilyn, This has been an excellent, wonderful time to spend together, and having known you from all this, in and outs of the different events that we attend, it's such a privilege to be able to connect again this way and share this way.
Oh,
So, thank you.